Ever wonder what happens to those who dare expose secrets some would rather keep hidden? What price do they pay for speaking truth to power?
It's a question that goes to the heart of accountability and transparency.
And that's what we're diving deep into today. The world of whistleblowers. Specifically, the unsettling trend of whistleblower deaths in the U.S. during 2024.
We're talking about individuals who risk everything to bring wrongdoing to light, often facing dire consequences for their actions.
We'll be drawing on articles from sources like the BBC, CBS News, Al Jazeera, even Newsweek.
And looking at reports from organizations like OSHA, the Department of Justice, and the Signals Network.
Our goal is to understand the risks these individuals face and what, if anything, is being done to protect them.
It's a crucial conversation to have, especially considering the vital role whistleblowers play in holding institutions accountable.
So let's start our deep dive with a company that's been under intense scrutiny lately. Boeing.
In 2024 alone, 2 Boeing whistleblowers died under circumstances that, well, raise significant suspicion.
The first case involves John Barnett, a former quality control manager at Boeing's North Charleston plant. That's where they build the 787 Dreamliner.
Barnett had a long career at Boeing, over 30 years. But back in 2019, he blew the whistle, alleging the company was using substandard parts.
And that's not all.
No, he also claimed the oxygen systems in the Dreamliners were faulty. Even went so far as to say that a significant number of breathing masks might malfunction during an emergency.
Seriously?
Yes, and according to Barnett, Boeing retaliated against him for speaking out, forced him into early retirement on health grounds.
Wow. So what happened next?
Well, in March of 2024, he was found dead in his truck.
Oh, no.
Officially ruled a suicide. But his family suspects foul play, especially since he was actively providing evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against Boeing just before his death.
That's incredibly suspicious. And to make matters worse, just weeks later, in May of 2024, another Boeing whistleblower died.
Right, Joshua Dean. He worked as a quality inspector at Spirit AeroSystems.
Spirit AeroSystems.
They supply Boeing with crucial airliner components, including fuselages.
Right, I remember now. What did Dean report?
He had reported misdrilled holes on the 737 MAX, a critical safety component.
It's like a pattern of potential cover-ups. And to add to that, between December 2020 and March 2024, Boeing was hit with 32 whistleblower complaints filed with OSHA.
Those complaints alleged retaliation against employees who reported safety violations.
It's a staggering number. Suggests a potential culture of silencing dissent within the company.
And the lack of transparency surrounding these cases only intensifies the concern.
It's truly alarming.
It highlights the very real dangers faced by those who speak out against powerful corporations, especially in industries like aerospace where safety is paramount.
And these risks extend beyond the realm of aerospace. In November 2024, Suchir Balaji, a former researcher at OpenAI, was found dead in his San Francisco apartment.
Balaji was known for his work on ChatGPT, but he had left OpenAI in August of that year.
What did he leave?
He had publicly criticized the company's data gathering practices for ChatGPT, argued they were in violation of copyright law.
Interesting.
He even gave an interview with the New York Times just a month before his death, stated that technologies like ChatGPT could be detrimental to the internet.
Wow.
While his death was ruled a suicide, it sparked widespread concern within the tech community, especially among those working in artificial intelligence.
Makes you wonder about the unique pressures faced by whistleblowers in that sector, where the ethical implications of these powerful new technologies are still being debated.
Absolutely. And Balaji's case also highlights the mental and emotional toll whistleblowing takes on individuals.
It's easy to forget that these are real people with families and lives.
The constant fear of retaliation, isolation from colleagues, the weight of carrying sensitive information, it can have a profound impact on their well-being.
It's a stark reminder that behind the headlines and legal battles, there are human stories of immense courage and sacrifice.
And speaking of courageous individuals, it's important to remember figures like Peter Buxton. Back in the 1960s, he exposed the horrific Tuskegee syphilis experiment.
That was a truly dark chapter in medical history.
It was. This unethical study denied treatment to Black men with syphilis for decades, and it was Buxton's whistleblowing that finally brought it to an end.
His actions led to critical reforms in medical ethics, proving that whistleblowers can have a lasting impact. even if it takes years or even decades for their efforts to be fully recognized.
Exactly. They play a vital role in holding powerful institutions accountable.
Unfortunately, getting accurate data on whistleblower deaths, particularly in the U.S., is incredibly difficult,
There's a concerning lack of transparency and systematic tracking of these cases.
which makes it challenging to fully grasp the scope of the issue.
Despite the challenges, a 2024 report in Newsweek highlighted a troubling trend. Whistleblower deaths are on the rise globally.
So it's not just a U.S. problem.
No, it's a systemic issue that extends far beyond individual cases, and it emphasizes the urgent need for better protection mechanisms and greater international cooperation to ensure the safety and well-being of those who dare to speak truth to power. It's a bleak picture, for sure. But 2024 also saw some positive developments.
Oh, that's good to hear. Like what?
Well, in terms of legal protections and policy changes aimed at safeguarding whistleblowers.
Okay, let's delve into those. What were some of the key wins for whistleblowers in 2024?
One big win came from the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court.
They clarified whistleblower protections under the Sarbanes-Oxley Act.
I see. And how does that help?
This ruling removed the requirement for whistleblowers to prove retaliatory intent on the part of their employers.
So it makes it easier for them to come forward.
Exactly. It simplifies the legal process and makes it harder for corporations to evade accountability.
That's a significant step. Well, what else happened?
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, issued a circular.
What did the circular do?
It strengthens the protection of whistleblowers' communication with government agencies.
So they can report wrongdoing without fear of reprisal.
Right. Companies can't use confidentiality agreements to silence them anymore.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Any other positive changes in 2024?
The Department of Justice implemented a whistleblower reward program.
A reward program.
Yep. It offers financial incentives for individuals who provide information leading to successful prosecutions of corporate fraud and cross-border corruption.
So it's not just legal protection, but also financial rewards.
Precisely. It aims to encourage more people to come forward, recognizing the risks they take.
It's a good incentive. What other developments were there?
This one might surprise you. The UAP Whistleblower Protection Act was passed.
UAP. What's that?
It stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena.
You mean UFOs?
Yes. This act protects those who disclose information about government spending on UAP research.
That's interesting. A sign that transparency is becoming more valued, even in areas that used to be very secretive.
Absolutely. But legal and policy changes are only part of the solution.
Right. What about the culture surrounding whistleblowing? What needs to change there?
We need a cultural shift that values transparency and accountability as core principles.
So we need to see whistleblowers as courageous, not troublemakers.
Exactly. We need to move away from the don't rock the boat mentality. Encourage people to raise their voices when they see something wrong.
It's about creating a culture where speaking truth to power is celebrated, not punished.
You got it. This cultural shift will take time and effort, but it's crucial for a healthy society.
Agreed. Are there any specific areas where current laws are still lacking, where we need further reform?
One big issue is the time frame for filing complaints under the OSH Act. Whistleblowers only have 30 days.
30 days. That doesn't seem like much time at all.
It's not, especially given the complexity of these cases and the stress whistleblowers are under. It needs to be extended.
I agree. What other limitations are there?
International cooperation is another challenge. Many whistleblowers face persecution in their own countries.
Because they expose corruption or other crime.
Exactly. And they often have limited legal recourse in their home countries.
So they need protection on an international level.
Yes. The U.S. offers political asylum to some whistleblowers, but we need to expand that and strengthen global cooperation to create safe havens.
To ensure that those who speak truth to power are protected, no matter where they are in the world.
Exactly. It really underscores the need for a multifaceted approach. If we truly want to protect whistleblowers, we need to strengthen legal frameworks, foster a culture that embraces transparency, and ramp up that international cooperation. Create those safe havens for those facing persecution.
As we wrap up this deep dive, it's crucial to remember the human cost, the personal sacrifices these individuals make to expose wrongdoing.
Think about the cases we discussed today. John Barnett and Joshua Dean, both Boeing employees who raised safety concerns, both lost their lives under incredible